In this video, I'm going to go through and explain the Ontario Buyer's Representation Agreement for real estate. I typically send this agreement to my clients after we've spent some time looking at properties online, finding information, building some trust, and going to see a property or two. This agreement can be used for one specific property or a general area over a period of time. Okay, so here's the Buyer Representation Agreement. This is what it looks like. The first part here is just stating that it's an exclusive buyer representation between the brokerage and the buyer. Myself as an agent, I represent the brokerage, so it's between the brokerage and the client. The client's address goes here, and we have a start date and then an end date. Here's where we sign if it's over 6 months. Depending on the situation, if my clients are looking for something really fast, I normally make it about 6 months. If it's over 6 months, if my clients are not in a rush and they're just kind of looking and we're spending a lot of time viewing properties online and in person. Property type use, this could be residential, recreational, single family, farm, etc. So that's where you put the type. Geographic location, this could include one large location, Muskoka region, or we could do Muskoka, Simcoe County. We could do, Bracebridge, Gravenhurst, Orea. You get the point. It's very important. This is just saying that the buyer is not in another representation within the same geographic location and property type use. So if you have another agreement in a different area with another agent, that's fine. However, you cannot have two buyer representation agreements with two separate agents within the same area. Quick one here, definitions and interpretations. This is just explaining that the buyer could be addressed as the purchaser, tenant, or lessee, and a seller includes a vendor, landlord, or lessor. This one's a very important one to note for my clients. So typically in a real estate transaction, there's 5% commission total, 2.5% going to the listing brokerage, and 2.5% going to the buying brokerage. Occasionally, commission can be reduced to 2% or less on either side. When something like this happens, the buyer would be responsible if there's an agreement of 2.5% here, and let's say the commission is reduced to 2% in the contract from the seller, then the buyer would be responsible for this extra 0.5%. If, let's say, the buyer finds an off-market deal, a for sale by owner, and there is no commission agreement, then the buyer would be responsible for this 2.5%. I know how this might make some clients feel hesitant. I do just want to ensure that all my clients know how beneficial it can be using a qualified real estate agent. There's a lot of things to know. We are working in your best interest to protect you and your money. And so by having an agent working for you, even on a private deal, pointing out things that might be a problem, recommending people to ensure that you're looking into things as diligently as you can before you're spending all your money can save you a ton of grief in the long run. Also, I hope that when my clients start working with me, before we get to this process, you have learned that I will go above and beyond for you. So I really hope that you can see the value. And if you have any issues with this and are concerned about this, we can definitely talk about it. And I'd be more than happy to go through these things with you. Holdover days. Typically, holdover days are between 30 and 90 days. So I like to put 60 right in the middle. This just means that if I show you a property within our agreement timeframe, if you decide after our agreement expires, you'd like to go, since I introduced you to that property or I've spent my time with you there, then I'm still entitled to commission within the holdover days. Representation, this just means that my client understands that there's different types of representation: seller, buyer, multiple, customer service. Multiple representation is very important. This can also be known as dual representation or dual agency. This means that one brokerage is representing both sides, listing side and buying side. So there can be conflicts of interest. And if we get into this scenario, you will be notified right away and you would need to sign something to disclose that you understand. Number 4, referral of properties. This just means that within this agreement, we're working together. And if you see a property that you have interest in, either realtor.ca or off market, or through my website, that you would let me know and we can work together. Indemnification. This just means that I'm not responsible for the state of a home. I can give my opinions. I can refer you to experts such as home inspectors, carpenters, electricians, etc. However, my job within this process is for the sale of a home, a transaction. So looking at properties and going through the steps of filling out the forms, writing agreements, negotiating, etc. Finder's fee. This is kind of old school, but back in the day, a lot of agents used to get referral incentives through mortgage agents or lawyers, etc. So this is just the client consenting that if there's a finder's fee that you agree to it. 7 and number 8 kind of work together. This is just saying that you understand that the brokerage can disclose information for consumer reports, credit, personal information in connection with this transaction. I did just want to specify that personal information is taken very seriously, and distribution of personal information is only to assist with the sale and an agreement and would not be distributed to third parties. Conflict or discrepancy. This is super simple. If there's any schedules attached to this agreement, those schedules supersede this agreement. Legally, they're bound by the agreements, the terms of this agreement. 11 and 12 are about electronic communication and signatures. A lot of times these agreements are sent out electronically, so it's just saying that they're still valid if they're sent electronically. Schedules, if there's any additional schedules to this agreement, and then we go through the signatures. The agent signs here, buyers sign here. All agents need to have insurance, so this is declaration of insurance, and then this is the acknowledgement that the client has received a copy of this. If you have any questions about this agreement, please feel free to give me a call, text, or email, and I'd be happy to discuss further.